Millions of people finally hit their absolute dream salary every single year. Even though they make more money than they ever thought possible, they wake up every morning feeling completely broke. So why does earning more money almost never cure the feeling of being poor? Picture a perfectly normal Thursday afternoon. You are sitting at your desk when an email arrives. You got the promotion. You finally crossed the six-figure mark. You go out to dinner. You celebrate, and you feel an overwhelming sense of victory. You feel like you have finally made it. But 6 months later, you look at your bank account, and a tight, suffocating knot forms in your chest. The math simply does not make sense. You are earning twice as much as you did 5 years ago, but you feel twice as stressed. Your credit card balances are creeping up. Your savings account is barely growing. You feel like you are constantly paddling against a furious current, just trying to keep your head above water. A brilliant, entirely invisible trap has just been executed right in front of you. We are taught from childhood that financial security is a specific number. We believe that if we just reach a certain income bracket, the anxiety will magically vanish. But you are confusing an emotional state with a mathematical equation. Feeling wealthy and being wealthy are not the same experience, and the system relies entirely on you never figuring out the difference. When you get that massive raise, you naturally upgrade your life. You move out of the cramped apartment and into a beautiful house in a better neighborhood. You lease a safer, more luxurious car. You feel completely justified. You worked incredibly hard, and you deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But the exact moment you unpack your boxes in that new neighborhood, ancient human biology takes over. You look out the window. Your new neighbor drives a Porsche. The family across the street just put in a massive swimming pool. Your coworkers are flying to Europe for the summer. Suddenly, your massive success feels like the absolute bare minimum. Most people disagree about this. If you ask traditional financial advisors, they will tell you that feeling poor at a high income is simply a lack of personal discipline. They will say you lack self-control and need a stricter budget. Some sociologists argue the exact opposite. They claim that feeling behind is a manufactured systemic feature of modern capitalism, completely inescapable no matter how much willpower you possess. Here's where people are split. Is chronic financial dissatisfaction a moral failure, or is it a biological panic response? People don't make bad money decisions. They respond to the environment around them. And your environment is aggressively optimized to keep you dissatisfied. Think about your daily routine. From the moment you wake up, you are bombarded by a highly curated, algorithmic highlight reel of the top 1% of human experiences. You're comparing your everyday, messy reality to a billionaire's vacation. You are constantly measuring your starting line against someone else's finish line. But the real reason you never feel secure is much stranger. It's not just about keeping up with the Joneses. It's about how the modern financial system weaponizes your ambition. Look at your income from a completely different economic position. The global consumer economy relies entirely on your perpetual dissatisfaction. If millions of high-earning professionals woke up tomorrow morning and felt they had enough, the entire machine would grind to a dead halt. Corporations would collapse. Credit card companies would go bankrupt. The economy cannot mathematically afford for you to feel secure. So, the system intentionally shifts the goalposts. It artificially inflates the baseline of what a normal life looks like. It uses cheap, abundant credit to allow people to buy the illusion of wealth on layaway. This creates a terrifying dynamic where you are constantly comparing yourself to neighbors who look incredibly rich, but are secretly drowning in massive, high-interest debt. You are comparing your actual bank account to someone else's credit limit. The biggest financial advantage isn't intelligence, it's which game you're playing. The anxious high earner is playing a game of comparison. They are trying to solve an emotional feeling of inadequacy with a numerical solution. They want to buy enough premium items to finally feel safe and respected. But because someone in the world will always have more leverage, more credit, and more willingness to go into debt, the game of comparison is mathematically unwinnable. The truly wealthy and the truly secure play a completely different game. They play a game of internal alignment. They know that income and actual wealth are two completely different things. Income is the water pouring into the bucket. Wealth is the water that remains after the leaks are plugged. Income creates options today, but only retained wealth creates freedom tomorrow. Let's slowly reveal the invisible forces holding this entire machine together. The incentives of the marketing and retail industries are meticulously designed to make you feel like you are always missing one crucial purchase. Your lingering doubt is their greatest revenue stream. The structures of the modern credit system allow your peers to consume far beyond their actual means. This creates a massive, terrifying gap between the appearance of wealth and actual financial resilience. It builds a society of glass mansions. The social pressures of modern culture equate your human worth entirely with your purchasing power. We are conditioned to judge a person's success by the logo on their steering wheel, making the choice to live below your means feel like an admission of failure. And the probabilities dictate a ruthless, undeniable truth. If you do not deliberately define what enough looks like for your own life, your expenses will always effortlessly expand to consume your entire income. You will spend your entire life on a treadmill, running at a full sprint, completely exhausted, wondering why the scenery never actually changes. Wealth is often less about effort and more about position. If you position your self-worth on the shifting sands of societal expectations, your effort will constantly be drained. You will live in a permanent state of anxiety. You will look at your massive six-figure salary and only see the gaps. The people who earn a fortune but still feel utterly panicked did not fail the system. They followed the system perfectly. They did exactly what the economy required them to do. They became highly productive, incredibly consistent, perfectly dissatisfied consumers. They worked tirelessly to generate the capital, and then they immediately handed that capital back to the banks and the corporations just to maintain an illusion. They successfully avoided poverty on paper, but they willingly walked into a psychological prison. When you finally understand the mechanics of this illusion, the traditional financial script shatters completely. You stop mistaking a high income for actual wealth. You realize that financial planning is incredibly difficult when lifestyle expansion quietly absorbs every single gain. You see that the greatest risk in financial planning isn't market volatility. It isn't a sudden recession or a drop in the stock market. The greatest risk is spending your entire life chasing a feeling of safety that was deliberately designed to remain just out of reach. You stop playing the unwinnable game of comparison. You step off the treadmill. You realize that the modern wealth paradox is entirely an illusion. True financial security does not begin when you finally hit a magical, ever-moving number in your bank account. True financial security begins the exact moment that comparison loses its authority over your self-worth.